Welcome back to another video. Today the very first episode of the Art of War series. In this series we will break down the real battlefield tactics you can use to outsmart your enemies and turn even the toughest battles into victories. Whether you're a rising star in lines of battle or just looking to sharpen your skills, this series is for you. In today's video, part 1, we'll explore 3 essential patterns: Frontal Assault, Flanking Attack, and Pincer Movement. They are the basics every player should understand deeply, not just use instinctively. Let's get started. Frontal Assault. What is it? A frontal assault is the one most direct form of engagement. You throw your forces straight at the enemy's front line and in an attempt to overpower or break through. Why would anyone do this? Because sometimes brute force is the simplest path to victory, especially if you have superior numbers, better morale, stronger units or artillery support, a terrain advantage, like high ground or a bridge bottleneck. Maybe you are behind the river, maybe you have the forest which can act as the defensive shield against the enemy artillery. But make no mistake, this tactic is risky. When you hit the front, you're engaging the enemy at their strongest position. When should you use it in lines of battle? When your opponent's line is overextended, if you soften them up with the artillery, or when you are confident your troops will trade better in straight-up fight. How to do it right? Use infantry with high morale and staying power, stack artillery behind to support the push, have reserves ready to follow through if you break their line. Also, on additional note, it is the best to first soften up enemy infantry with bombardment of artillery fire. Pro tip: a frontal assault doesn't always have to win the fight. It can also pin down the enemy, setting up your flanking maneuvers later. And speaking of that, flanking attack. What is it? A flanking attack is when you attack the enemy from the sides or rear, where they are least protected. It's one of the most effective ways to break formations and morale. Why it works? Units are weakest on the sides. Most games, including lines of battles, penalize flanked units with morale drops and stat debuffs. It forces the enemy to either reposition or collapse. When to flank? If the enemy is too focused on your center, if they are committed to their forces in a static line, when you have mobile units like cavalry or fast infantry. Execution in lines of battle. Use terrain like woods or ridges to mask your movement. Distract them with frontal pressure while flanking force gets into position. Time the strike right as your main force engages. Common mistake: flanking too early. If your flanking troops go in before the enemy is distracted or pinned, they will get isolated and crushed. Real game combo tip: try using a line feint up front just enough to bait their attention, then sweep in hard from the side. It's devastating when timed right. Pincer movement. What is it? A pincer movement is a double flank. You strike both enemy flanks at once, aiming to trap their enemy in the center. It's one of the most iconic military maneuvers in history. Think Hannibal at Cannae or Frederick the Great. Why it's powerful? The enemy gets attacked from both sides. They have no safe retreat. Morale collapses fast once surrounded. You can annihilate the entire formations instead of just pushing them back. How to set it up? Split your fast units to both sides of the battlefield. Pin the center with your main force or even a weaker line. Wait for the flanking forces to close in, then strike simultaneously. Lines of battle tactics tip. Use cavalry and mobile infantry to encircle. Don't go too early, timing matters more than speed. Keep artillery or ranged fire aimed at the center to keep it locked in place. When does it fail? If one flank gets stopped or routed early, if your center collapses before the pincer closes, if the enemy has a reserve force that counters your flanks. Smart layering. You can use a feint plus pincer combo, make them believe they are focusing on one side, then collapse both at once. That's it for the first episode of Art of War series. Today we laid the foundation with 3 essential battlefield tactics: the brute force of a frontal assault, the surgical strike of the flank, and the crushing trap of the pincer movement. In the next video, Art of War Part 2, we'll dive into feints, staggered assaults, and overload flanks, teaching you how to manipulate your enemy attention and strike with devastating timing. If you learned something today or just enjoying the kind of content, drop a like, comment your favorite tactic so far, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Until next time, stay sharp and don't forget, it's not just how many troops you have, it's how you use them.